Hi friends, my name is Priyanka and I'm a watercolor artist. In today's video, I'll show you some watercolor techniques, the understanding of which is helpful in learning the art of watercolor. So let's get started. So the first technique is a flat wash or an even wash. This is the consistency of my pigment, very watery. Okay, so let me start. I'm here using is a handmade paper. You can use papers with less percentage of cotton also. And if you do it nicely, the wash is going to come out flat. Be very patient, no need to hurry in this. Okay, so this is the even layer. So our second technique is the gradual layer. So we take the pigment and now with the help of water we merge the color. So this will give a gradual layer effect. That's why the name gradual layers. In my previous sessions, I had created these flower postcards using the gradual layer technique. So you can refer to these for a better understanding and practice of the gradual layers. So now we come to the third technique, which is called blending. This is a wet on wet technique wherein we first give a clear wash to the paper and then apply the color. So wet color on wet paper is the wet on wet technique. So you can see how the colors bleed and blend. Now we can take some other color. So you will see that gradually the colors will blend. Okay. So this is the technique of blending. So next we come to the technique of layering. This is a wet on dry technique. Blending is wet on wet and layering is wet on dry. So we will apply the color, let the layer dry, and then we will do the second layer on top. Okay, suppose I do this much of a flat wash. Now in order to do the second layer, I will let this layer dry. So let's give it time to dry. So either we can let it dry on its own or we can dry it using a drying tool. So now our layer is dry. We do the other layer on this. So let's do a vertical line. So you can clearly see that the layer underneath stays as it is, and we have done a new layer on top of it. Okay, so now this layer is also dried. I do a third layer on this now. Watery color. The only thing to remember here is that our pigment needs to be watery. We don't have to do a very thick layer on this. The layers, if they are thin, they will be visible nicely. Okay, so the orange is also dried. Let's do another color on this. So this is the technique of layering. I already have a video on the layering technique on my channel. You can refer to that. The link is given in the description box. So our next technique is lifting, where I will first give a flat wash to the area And while the pigment is still wet, using a dry brush, I will lift off the color. Okay, here you can give any pattern that you wish. So this was lifting using a dry brush. Now we will do lifting using a tissue. So let's see that. Okay, now using a tissue, just take off the color. Next we come to pulling. Here my pigment is not very watery, so I put this much and then I let water pull the color and create a beautiful effect. So you can see that as I'm putting water, it is pulling the pigment. So this is the pulling technique. Next we come to dry brush. So in this technique, my brush is dry and the pigment is also dry. So with this I create these kinds of effects. You can, if you want, create shadings like this, or you can see the dryness here. That is the effect we give using this technique. Okay, so guys, these were some basic watercolor techniques. Now going forward in my upcoming videos, I will show you the application of these techniques and some more smarter and easier ways of achieving many effects, textures using these. So do like the video and subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon to get the notifications of the upcoming tutorials on the subject of art.